everybody to Lackluster Gaming. Show for those who love to game and other mediocre best. Here we go, guys. Alright, I'm excited about today's deck. This one is a lot of fun, particularly because we don't normally use the Sparky. Now, before we get into it, obviously shoutouts are a priority. Yesterday, the Pretty Purple Pekka Random Games came in first place, followed by Abraham, Devin Watson, Nightmare, Soccer Skills, Sea Cheese Ale, and the guy that I missed yesterday, LackLuster YT, maybe Romic, not sure how to pronounce it, but there you go, brother. And of course, we will have more shoutouts throughout the video. But before we get into today's deck, I just want to share with you guys that we are finally in the top 200,000 YouTube channels on Social Blade. So let's move on. So obviously, first off, let's go over this deck. We've got the Giant, the Sparky, the Miner, the Electro Wizard, the Executioner, sorry dude, the Log, the Dart Goblin, and the Tornado. Now, most of these cards are essential to the deck, but if you don't have some of these cards and need some suggestions, first off, Sparky, it's gotta stay. It's a Giant Sparky deck. Of course, it's gotta stay. If you don't have the Miner, obviously, my suggestion is to use the Goblin Barrel. Throw that in there. If you don't have the Electro Wizard, the Zap mechanic that it has is purely essential to this deck. So instead of using Zap, because we're going to substitute Zap in for the Log, for the Electro Wizard, I recommend using Lightning. Now, if you don't want to use Lightning because it does put a little bit of expense on this deck, increasing that average elixir cost, you could always use the Archers. It's a good ground air targeting card. Now, if you don't want to use the Executioner, or you don't have the Executioner, I always suggest to substitute in the Wizard. If you have the Ice Wizard, it's a good substitution as well. Now, the Tornado is definitely one that you want to keep in there, especially if you're using the Sparky or the Executioner card in this deck, and I'll tell you why in just a moment. So, right off the bat, we're doing pretty good. We're knocking this guy out the ballpark. Sparky gets a lock on, gets a hit on the tower, and this guy is pissed, and I don't blame him. I have a difficult time going up against this deck. This is the deck that if you want to beat me, you want to use this deck, or a deck very similar to it. Now, this guy's going to try to rush us right now with this massive combo of Valkyrie and Elite Barbs, and we're going to easily shut it down with just our Tornado and our Dart Goblin. We're going to log out that Skarmy in the back, and unfortunately, the Giant will not get a hit, but we do have a full life, full strength, full health Executioner on the tower. It's going to get 1, 2, and a third swing in there, also doing some pretty decent damage to the Musketeer, weakening his advance towards us. He's going to back it up with a Log and a Valkyrie. I don't know why. It seems like he's just throwing everything he's got, and fortunately for us, that Valkyrie is locked onto the Giant, so will not get a hit on our tower. I'm going to place an Executioner in the center so that he takes out those Elite Barbarians and then joins the ranks behind the Sparky. Now, he's got the Minion Horde. We're going to throw the Electro Wizard right behind it, and look at that. Oh, he uses a Skarmy to distract the Sparky, but it's okay because of everything I've got behind it right now just takes out. Sparky gets locked on, takes out tower number 2, and then we plant in a Giant. We throw in the Dart Goblin for effect in the back, and we've got a second Executioner on the scene, and it is just a brutal deck. I mean, look at that. Even I get 3 crowned if I'm using a normal deck going up against this. Pretty awesome, guys. It's pretty awesome. So let's get into part 2 now. We're going up against Ragnar Lothbrok. You know, I don't know if you guys watch Vikings. It was a pretty interesting show. I kind of lost interest a little bit after the second season, but that's all besides the point. Now, this deck is fairly expensive, just so you guys know, at a 3.9 average elixir cost with no elixir pump. And a lot of the expensive decks that we've been showing lately have had the elixir pump. Now, luckily, all of his troops are bunched up, so the Sparky's going to take out most of them. We're also going to plant in an Executioner here. And now watch this. We are going to hold off and maybe use this Tornado to not only defend for our troops, but also to clump them up, and we're kind of hoping that the combo between the Executioner and that Sparky, which has a lock on, boom, there goes that tower, right? Just one more hit and we're good. But if you can use that tornado to clump up the troops to hit them with your executioner, great. If you can do it and they're all ground troops for your Sparky, even better, man. I've gotten some really cool exchanges where I've been able to use that tornado, clump them all up together right as he's starting to charge up, or she, Sparky's a girl, right? And the Sparky just takes out all of them. Now check that out. We're down so close to getting this guy. I'm gonna put down the Electro Wizard and I'm gonna log everything out. And I'm also gonna use our tornado just to prevent any further damage to the tower, and the Electro Wizard will be able to stop those elite barbarians from doing any further damage to our tower. We're gonna place a giant right up in front. Usually anyway, that's what I would have done, but it looks like I didn't in this case, and luckily for us, we didn't have to, and the Electro Wizard is able to take out everything, take out that tower. Now, the Executioner here on defense, which is great, and we're going to start pushing on the opposite side, because he's gotten our tower down to half of its health, so I know there's a possibility that he's going to take that tower. He's got a pretty strong deck, so I'm going to start off with the Giant. I'm going to put the Sparky trailing behind it, just so that if the Elite Barbarians get put around it, we can take them out in one little blast. The Electro Wizard is there as well, and a Dark Goblin in the back, and now he's gonna take that tower on the bottom right side. But check that out, we're gonna use our Executioner and a Tornado to take out all of those troops to save our King Tower as we take out that tower up at the top. We've got a Sparky going. Boom! Takes out that Valkyrie. Too easy. We're going to send in a Miner as well, and hopefully that Giant will be able to get all the way to the tower, but the Electro Wizard actually zapped the King Tower and forced it to retarget onto the Miner, which was the closer target, and allowed that Sparky to stay with that one sliver of health and take it completely out. Amazing, right? I know. It's pretty awesome. It's a great deck. It synergizes well with each other. That's why I implore you, if you've got all 4 of those legendaries, to use all 4 of them, because the Electro Wizard does some really spectacular things as far as zapping people and making them retarget troops that you don't want to get hit. It's pretty rad. I love the Electro Wizard. It doesn't get as much play as I think it deserves. Now we're going up a deck which is a little bit difficult, and again, we're using the Tornado and Executioner, and I know there are a few of you out there who don't like seeing it as much as I use it, but it's just such a good combo, you guys. So there we go, Miner up front to distract so that my Executioner can get some hits in on that tower. The Skarmy was well played against my push, and the Executioner is only going to get one single hit off. Don't mind my alarm, it was super early in the morning when I was actually filming this, and so we're going to plant our Giant in the back and start up a slow push. And now we've got the Executioner in the back because we know he's got the Skarmy, and that's what he's typically going to defend with. We're going to place a Dark Goblin off on the side so that it does not get hit by that Bowler's balls, and the Executioner will be able to take out the Bowler, and this Giant, or the Baby Dragon, is going to take out the Dark Goblin, but our Giant was able to do tons and tons of damage on that tower. So we're going to start up a Sparky in the back, right next to the tower, to prevent that Executioner from getting any damage and take it out in one shot, allowing us to continue a push forward. We're going to send in a Miner so that the tower doesn't get a lock onto the Sparky, but he counters very wisely with the minions, so pretty decent, but we're still getting some awesome damage here. Now, I'm kind of in a hurt spot right now. I've got the Electro Wizard down. He's killed it off now, and now I've got to use a log. I'm gonna put the Dark Goblin in the back, and he's gonna take that tower. So it's looking a little bit bleak for us, but we've still done a ton of damage to that top tower, so we shouldn't have any trouble getting to it and taking it out completely and securing at least a tie for this match. So I've got the Giant down. I'm gonna tornado everything together so that my Executioner gets him, but good play on him getting that Skarmy in place to distract the Executioner so that he saves that big clump of troops that I had bunched together with the Tornado. Now, my Dark Goblin is locked on to that Bowler, and it looks like I'm gonna be really in trouble right here, but I just need one final push with this miner right here. We're going to send it in. We're also going to send a log in just to make sure we can secure the tie and have a chance to go up against that other tower on the top right. And there you have it. We're in overtime right now. Just another 3 minutes on top of it. He uses his elite barbs, and we're going to plant our executioner in on the back right there to take out those elite barbs so that we don't get 3 crown, because he's coming in pretty hard right now, which makes me put down that electro wizard, taking out the baby dragon, clumping them all up together, really just avoiding some damage as my dark goblin does some work from afar. But now we've got an executioner followed by a dark goblin going towards his tower. We're going to set down a Sparky and log out that bowler so that it doesn't get any damage to our king tower. Take it out, and there you go. Executioner in front, dark goblin doing some major damage, and now he is in the hurt box. I'm going to plant down my giant right there. We're going to use a tornado to get rid of that Skarmy, but it is just a little bit too late, but it holds back his executioner, allowing my dark goblin to do tons and tons of damage. And now we are just within range that we just need to do a couple little things here and there, and we'll be okay. I just need to defend against these elite barbs. I'm going to throw in my miner. Executioner is good right there, and now we're going to throw our log. I know I probably could have done it a lot earlier to secure that victory, but sometimes you just got to make sure that you're not going to get 3 crown. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I think you know. So there you got it, guys. Pretty awesome deck. It's really powerful. It's a lot of fun to play with. It's an easy learning curve. So if you got the cards, give it a shot. Let me know down below how you guys like it. All right. I'll see you tonight for the live stream, and I got a special collab coming up. So stay tuned, brothers. I love you. Peace out.